live. What's good, great people? I am Ezel Moon, and I have a special guest in the building today. Producer, host, man, just all around wonderful woman, and she's a lady of Delta Sigma Theta. Megan Thomas shall be joining me for a frank conversation. I want to give a big shout out to my sponsor for this conversation, Crown Red Crown. Join the Crown Club by going to KROWNKLUB.com to purchase your drip, fit, all that great stuff. What's going on?
How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good, man. Over here, about to put my son to bed in a little bit. Mom life.
Oh, okay. You got the little one with you.
Yes, yeah. So if you hear like he might run through here, he may scream. You may hear some of that. So.
Now look, trust me, I understand that. Hold on, there. I'm pointing at the right direction. That guy right there in the back. That's my little bundle of joy right there.
So you know what's up. You know how it be.
Yeah. How old is he?
He is 2.5.
Please give me wisdom. Because I got a 2-year-old as well. So I'm like, yo,
and I can't help you. I cannot help you because Lord knows I'd be like, somebody help me with him. Boys are just a different breed. They're just like busy, like very, very busy.
Yeah, real active. And we want to wake up in the middle of the night and do stuff as if like nighttime is just the time to wake up. No, fam, go to sleep. Go to sleep through the whole night. Like, I don't know. Does yours go to sleep all night?
Say it again.
Does your little one go to sleep all night?
You know, so he pretty much yes. However, there's like I would say in the last month he's been doing this thing where he'll wake up at like 2 or 4 a.m. somewhere in there, and then he'll come into me and my fiance's bed and just like, hey, scoot over, I'm here, and goes right back to sleep. And I'm like, can you just stay in your bed? Like the night's almost over. It's like 4 a.m. You got 3-4 hours left.
So yeah, can you just rock it out in your area, in your space? Like, you know, I want to be here. Like,
right. And I'm like, what do you? It's not like he wants to play. He just wants to lay in the bed and go. He goes right back to sleep. So I'm grateful for that. But then, like, I've been waking up, my back's been hurting, like my side, and then he wants to like cuddle up on mom, and I'll be like, go over there with your dad. No, he wants to stay with mommy. And so, of course, my arm falls asleep. I get kicked in my mouth. I got a little bruise on my mouth. They kicked me in my mouth.
Oh no. You ever wake up with a toe in your mouth? Like it'd be like right here. It ain't like really in your mouth. It's just like right here.
Right
like
on your yes, on
like
your
right
face. Like,
yeah, man.
Come on now, bruh. Like you gotta do me like that.
Right? We're related. Come on, man. But you know what? I have questions for you because this is an interview about you and all that you do. I want to give you a big congratulations for, you know, All This Woman.
Thank you.
You are working and it is showing. You know what I'm saying? But I want to talk about, you know, a couple of beginnings. You were an Army brat.
Yes.
And so, you know, where do you feel like your formative years were spent? You know, like in the globe. In the world.
So I was born in Korea,
right,
on an Army base. I've lived in Thailand, but then my dad retired out of the military when I was still in elementary school. So I was raised mostly in Kentucky. Shout out to Kentucky. Oh, my homegirl Ronnie's on here. She's from Kentucky too. What's up?
What up, Kentucky?
Yes, for sure. So yeah, mostly Kentucky, Radcliffe, Kentucky. Shout out to my hometown.
What do you feel like with some of the lessons, the biggest lessons that you got from being raised there?
So the one thing that I loved about Radcliffe growing up is that it was very diverse. You know, you can go to certain parts of Kentucky and it's either all white, or you go to a neighborhood, it might be all black. But in Radcliffe, Kentucky, it was an Army town outside of Fort Knox. Plenty of like everything. Okay, there's Korean churches, there's Korean stores, there's different type of food. You know, for it to be Kentucky was pretty diverse, and the people that I went to school with. So I always loved the fact that, like, you know, diversity was always a big thing there, just because it was the military and that's how it was. And I think I also love like the fact that it's a small. I didn't appreciate it when I was young, but I appreciate it now. The small town feel. I think it was like 20,000 people in my town, so we all knew each other. We all went to school together. And I really appreciate that because, like, even now, I have 8 friends, and we are like super tight, like we were in high school. We go like on vacations together. We talk to each other, and I feel like sometimes that's hard to do when you're not in a place that's a bigger city. In a small town like that, we've known each other since the fourth grade. Like, so that's one thing that I'm so grateful for.
Man, you're lucky. I never ever like had like a set of friends that like I grew up with that I was able to stay with. Like my first group like of homies, like they moved. I was sad, crying on the porch and whatnot. And
Yeah.
then like I tried to get another set of homies, and it just ain't work out either. Like it just everybody keeps on rotating. But that's what's up though. Do you feel like that having that clique, that niche, like really help progress you further in what it is that you do? Like, were they your support system as you went along in your career?
I kind of feel like, all your friends aren't they? Like,
Mm-hmm.
they're the sounding board. So while none of my friends only one of the 7 of my friends, because I'm the 8th, only one of them is in entertainment production work,
Right.
but the rest of them are in totally different fields, from like social work to nursing, teaching. We're all in very different fields, but I love them because we have like a weekly talk. We meet up once a month on like some kind of app where we can see each other talk, and we always ask each other questions like, do you experience sexism in your job? Do you like, what is the racism like at your job? We talk about families, we talk about friends. So I think from that regard, they've help center me as a person, which
Right.
of course helps me in my career.
Most definitely. Have you actually had those run-ins at your job, like with what you do with the racism and sexism, or is that only like something that they faced? Because I
No,
was
I've had all deaf hasn't been my first job, so I
right.
definitely, I come from a corporate background. So yeah, I've dealt with like racism. I'm from Kentucky, so I've dealt with
Yeah.
racism. I've dealt with sexism.
Mm-hmm.
And the sexism part is so funny because I've dealt with it more working. I've worked for a few different places where it was mostly male and
Right.
not necessarily white. So it might have been minority males. Um, and that was the first time that I've ever experienced sexism. And it's I will tell you, when I ask women around me, like, what's worse, racism or sexism, they'll all tell you sexism. It's worse. It's
Wow.
worse to deal with. Yeah.
That's that. Wow. I've never ever like heard it like phrased like that. You know what I'm saying? Which one would be worse, racism or sexism? Because I mean, well, one, I'm a
You're a
dude.
man,
Like,
right?
yeah,
So
exactly. Like
you don't
so,
deal with
like
that. It's
yeah, I
kind of
know.
like
Like,
it's kind of like the way some white people don't understand racism because they're like, well, I'm not a racist. I don't, we're all equal. We're all the same. While that theory is true, unfortunately, that's not the way things actually pan out, right? So as a black
right.
man, you understand what racism looks like, what it feels like. And as a white person, they may not understand because they're like, well, I'm not racist, or I haven't tried to do anything racist.
Mm-hmm.
But then as a man, because you are in the majority, you wouldn't
Right.
understand sexism. And that's kind of the same way, because most men will be like, black men will be like, I'm not sexist. Like, but
Mm-hmm.
then you might have some sexist tendencies that you just never knew were there because you are among the majority.
Can you like expand on that? Like, like what are some things that black men do that that exude that sexism? That really, because I feel like if there are times, that's why I'm like really trying to analyze my actions. Like, like, hey, yo, if there was ever any time I want to apologize publicly right now, I did not mean, but like, what are some things that black men do from day to day that could quite possibly, that could be construed as that's sexist?
Okay, well, I'll first start here. What have some white people done to you that has been misconstrued for them as racist? And you're
Oh
like,
man,
that's clearly so. Think of something like that. For example, somebody might, I don't know, like one thing I've dealt with, if people be like, "Hey, girl," and then but that's not how you talk to my white colleague here. You don't say "Hey, girl" to
right,
her.
right,
I've never
right,
said "Hey, girl" to you. So why you say it to me? It's just some like unbiased or racism that they didn't know existed, right? Doesn't mean
right.
they're racist. It's just some racist tendencies that they never knew about.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the same with men. So, for example, like maybe you didn't know you cut off a woman while she was giving, in a meeting, you might have cut her off, but you wouldn't do that to another man, and you didn't even notice that you did it because
Right.
as you know, being the dominant sex in a culture, maybe you've just never dealt with that. I know I work in the comedy space, so there's some times when I'll say a joke, actually. I'll say a joke, nobody will laugh. Someone will steal my joke purposely, or they'll just say it and they didn't know they stole it because they didn't hear me, and everybody will laugh. And I'm like, wait a second, I just said that. And then a lot of the guys will be like, oh, I didn't hear you say that. But I'm like, I said it loud. But I've learned that some men tune out women. It's not even that you meant to.
Wow.
But you just kind of, the register of a woman's voice just like innately doesn't, make you perk your ears up. It could be something as simple as that. You didn't even know you're aware of that. So it's stuff like that.
No, most definitely. And it's crazy, because my day job is teaching, right? So I actually have to address this with one of my black male students, that, hey, because he acts up with his female teacher. I'm
Right.
sorry, with his lady teachers. But, when it comes to me, it's like, nah, he's on the straight and narrow. So I'm, and it's because how do I go about that without usurping, the power of that, of my colleague, Man, that is. Thank you for that. Thank you for that knowledge, because I got some things I got to think about sincerely. And I so had a question about, like, hey, how does it feel to work in an environment where you don't have to code switch and like,
No, but I mean I don't have to code switch when it comes to racism at my job, which is
right,
great. I still have to deal with sexism. And it's not like, because when I tell the guys about it, and I'm like, hey, that was sexist. They'll be like, oh my gosh, was it? They'll be like surprised because they're not trying to be sexist, but they also don't realize that as the majority sex in a patriarchal society, like some of the stuff they do is definitely sexist. So I think just the awareness of that helps them. But I'm so grateful that I don't have to deal with sexism and racism at the same place. That's a lot to deal with.
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah, but like I love it. I used to work in corporate environments where I had to code switch, where it was because I didn't want to, and when you're black or brown or any minority, actually you know that there's a little bit of a mask you got to wear to make it through, because people may look at you differently, or they may have stereotypes about you, and it's really not about being a stereotype. It's just like, this is just who I am, and I just happen to be this color. But people may chalk that up to you being whatever race you are. So, code switching can become tiring, because sometimes I don't want my attitude to be misconstrued as an angry black woman. But then when my white female colleague lashes out, nobody calls her an angry woman. They just, she doesn't have that stigma on her. So I'm grateful that I don't have to deal with that at all def, because it is a black owned company. So, we are who we are, and ain't nobody put no stereotypes on us. So it's cool.
Man, that's what's up. Like, I'm real thankful. Like, I love hearing about black-owned companies. Sincerely, like that's really what I like to promote. While with this platform, I'm small right now, but eventually I'm gonna get up there. Eventually.
Hey, put that out there. Praise the Lord. Put that out there.
Hey, look, I gotta speak it into existence, because it has to happen.
It will.
Amen. Now, I got to talk about something very serious. So I want to ask you this. I was watching you roast your co-host, right, on All Def, and I want to know, how is it that you are so good at that? You told that man that his upper body strength is of a newborn, and I'm not gonna lie, I sat there, I cried for like about 10 straight minutes, like literally.
you had a newborn, so Yeah,
because I'm like, oh, I'm thinking about his little like arms doing this, trying to lift something, but he's a grown man. Anyway, how do you do that? And why are you so skilled at it?
I mean, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I think working around comedians, you just naturally get quicker with your wit. It's one thing, because I was already witty, but like normal witty. Like when you say, oh, that person's witty, like that was just who I've always been. But being around with comedians, you got to be quick fire. And these are roasters, the ones that I work with, which is another level of comedy. Right. So, and not all stand-up comedians are roasters. So now I'm working with like another subset of comedians who are very, very quick with their jokes, just like how their minds work. I'm always in awe. I'm like, how y'all make these jokes so fast? But just naturally being around them, I think I just picked it up some, I guess. I don't really know. And then also, like, when you get roasted too many times, you'd be like, you know what, I'm gonna fight back. I don't know what I'm gonna say. Because a lot of times, sometimes I say stuff and it don't hit. That's a lot of the time, actually. But I don't care. I'm gonna defend myself.
No, that's real. That's real. I can't ever do it. Like, people like, we'll go back. I've tried, like, what I'm saying, in undergrad, and then I just stopped because, like, I can't do it. Like, dude will tell me, hey, what I'm saying, boy, you look ugly, you look ugly, what I'm saying, ugly man. And then I'll say, that's why you got chlamydia. And then everybody be like, no, man, that's not how you do that. And I'm just like, damn, I'm sad. Like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that to you.
So,
I
Ezel,
apologize.
you just gonna have to chalk it up to that L. You got other talents, right? You got other gifts. So acknowledge those gifts. Maybe roasting is not where you need to be.
Exactly. I can't do it, bro. Like, that's why I gotta, and that's the thing, going back to having friends. I gotta have friends that'll, what I'm saying, that'll roast for me, because I'll just be sitting in the back.
Yeah.
But anyway, this ain't about me, it's about you. So you auditioned for a sports show first, and then a daily show for Kev on Stage. And
Yeah. Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh, and I'm sorry, after a month after, like, you landed that gig, you were producing it?
Yeah. So the way that internet media works, it's a little bit different than like a TV channel or a TV station, right? The money's not as big. Okay. So you have to be able to do more things, and you got to be able to pivot pretty quickly in digital media. So, my background was a producer. I produced in radio for years. And then I had to produce when I first moved to LA. In 2012, I would host shows for free, but I was also booking the talent. I was also producing the show. I sometimes had to edit it. And I was a talent for it. So, that to me was my school. I had to learn, and I had to get good at not just being on air, because there's a lot of people that can be on air, but there's not a lot of people that can be on air and produce and edit and direct at the same time. It's what I like to call like the Tyler Perry effect, right? He had to be good. He had to write those plays. He had to write them quick. He had to be in them. It wasn't because he wanted to. It was because he didn't have the money to hire other people to do it in the same way. But what I found is that when you have to go through that kind of environment, you end up being very, very good at what you do because you had to. You had no other choice. And so I think that's kind of what happened with me. So, when working at All Def, they were like, okay, be talent. So then a month later, they were like, hey, so can you also produce this? Because basically, we ain't got the money to hire like a separate producer. And thank God that was already my background. So I was like, yeah, easy. No problem. And it was an easy transition. And then from there, I started, like, hey, can you also produce other people's shows on this channel since we're paying you? Absolutely. And then it went from there to being, now I'm the head of production for All Def. So basically, my job is to, I oversee all of the productions for all of the verticals. So from All Def Women, All Def Latino, All Def Music, All Def Cannabis, All Def Gaming. I mean, we have a lot of channels. So my job is basically to oversee, the content that they put on their channels, as well. Hiring producers, making sure they're producing the way we need them to, just making sure everything goes the way it's supposed to go, pretty much.
Most def. You said once that taking on that producer role, that it was due to your spirit of yes. I wonder, how is it that you manage that spirit now? Is it that you, in that spirit, is it that you say you're quick to say yes to take on projects because there's something in you that wants to like make something the best that it can possibly be, or is it something else?
It's a little bit of all of that. A little bit of a control freak. It's a little bit of having the spirit of yes, always wanting to try something new. I'm like, sure, let's go for it. And, I always have had that kind of a nature to just say like, cool, let's see what happens. I'll do it. But as I've gotten older and as I've become a mom and, fiance, soon to be wife, like my priorities have changed. My career is very important to me, very important. But the well-being of my family comes first. So with that, I've had to learn, and I am still learning, how to balance and delegate my time and how to let control go of some of the stuff that that I like used to always be like, Megan, somebody else can do that. You don't have to do that. Like somebody else, you can hire somebody to do that on a production. You ain't got to produce all the shows, you know, especially now I'm head of production. I don't have the time to be a show producer like I was in the past, even though I can do it in my sleep, but I can't, right? You know what I'm saying? I got too much stuff going on. So, just learning, you know, the spirit of yes has now turned into like, okay, now I need the spirit of no. Delegation.
Right.
What can I delegate? I've said yes for too many things for too long, and I'm overextended. So now I'm learning the art of delegation.
Gotcha. I wonder, you know, in your delegating, what are some things that you keep to yourself? Like, what is your favorite part of your career?
What I keep to myself and what's my favorite part of my career? Those are two different answers.
Okay.
What do I keep to myself? So even though I am, I guess you could say I'm an internet personality, I actually am not as open as you would think. So if you look at my colleagues, especially ones on All Deaf, you see a lot more about their lives. You kind of know what they do day to day. You kind of see you see a lot more of their personal life. I don't necessarily show that. So you'll see a lot of my professional work. You'll see what I do on the internet. You don't necessarily know what's going on behind the scenes of my life. I just have been very I've always kind of been like that. I've always been a little private about my life. I don't like people to know the details because I feel like, you know, I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? If I don't know you, I don't know if I necessarily want you to know all of my business. It is a little bit scary as a woman too. You know, I've gone places where, you know, I'm just minding my business, looking a hot mess at Target or, you know, walking down the street, literally just walking down the street and somebody go, Meg Scoop, oh my gosh. My initial reaction is always like, oh, wait, do I know them from church? Like, where do I know them from?
Right.
Hi. Like, I'm always like, where did I meet? I can't remember, you know, only to find out, like, I don't know them. And it's a little bit scary because I'm like, I might be by myself or I might, you know, be walking somewhere. And now, you know, my car, you know, my license plate, if you see me in my, you know, it's just a little bit scary. So but for that, and I have a child who, I'll post his picture on my Instagram because he's my baby and I love him and I want to share his face. But I also, it's a little scary when somebody walks up to me and they're just like, hey, Meg Scoop, oh my gosh, here's your baby. Then I'm just kind of like mama bear, like, hold up.
Yeah, don't we just touch my baby.
Right.
Like, fam, I don't know you like that.
Right. So that's probably what I will keep to myself. I probably always keep that to myself. And then, and like also my relationship, like while people know that I'm engaged, they don't necessarily know who my fiance is. I don't post I don't tag his actual like personal page. I don't, because he doesn't live this life. He doesn't do what I do. He's in a whole different field. He is not comfortable here. And I don't want to spring that on him. And I respect that about, you know, what he does in his work. So and I remember Oprah said, you just, you know, you got to keep something to yourself when you give the world, you know, your life on the internet or on TV. So, and I remember she always said, you got to keep your relationship to yourself. So that's probably something I will always keep to myself. I won't give too many details about that. But as far as like what my favorite part of my career is, I think I really enjoy what I do. I love the flexibility of, you know, I live in Atlanta, but I'm in LA frequently for work. I work from Atlanta. I work in LA. And I love that. I always wanted to be bi-coastal, and this is the type of bi-coastal I wanted to be. So I'm so grateful for that. And I love, you know, where I work and who I work with. They're fun people. The content that we make is fun. You know, it's just really cool. It's really dope, you know, how we can see the culture move or how we can talk about the culture. We can see people enjoying the stuff that we do. So I think that's probably the most fun about my job.
That's what's up. How do you feel like you guys have shifted the culture?
I think just the authenticity. You know, one thing I love about All Deaf is I don't really see too many. Actually, I can't really recall of too many social channels or digital channels. I'm sorry, that kind of do what we do. There's people who come close, but I think it's just the actual like authenticity, the realness. I don't see roasting the way we roast because it's different than what you see on Comedy Central.
Right.
That ain't really what we doing, right? So like I'm glad that we have an outlet like All Deaf that you can do that. or where we're talking about great taste, but then we're like clowning our friend while we're talking about them. Like that's just something that's very, you see a group of friends do that, and so you get to live through that, watching us as well. So I think that's probably what I like.
That's what's up. That's real. That's real. That's real. I wanted to, just shift the conversation a little bit, really quickly, if you don't mind. Now you are a lady of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Ooh, you see that right there. You see that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
See that
Hey,
elephant?
hey, look, and I was gonna ask, hey, how many do you have? Because I, you know, I give gifts.
Oh, I can always use another elephant. Let me tell you, I have lost track of how many elephants I have because I have them spread between. I've moved a lot over the years. I've moved, from Kentucky to Atlanta to Dallas to Vegas to LA back to Atlanta. So I'm telling you, in all of these places, I've acquired some elephants. I've given them away. I've told people to hold them. There's some at my parents' house. They're spread everywhere. I have some here. So with that, I could always use more,
Okay. I got you. I'm gonna pencil this down. You know what I'm saying? Because I always like for every sorrow that came on. Hey, you guys, guess what? Elephant is for you.
Yes, yes.
But I wonder, how has the sorority, helped you along your path of success?
Oh, I love Delta Sigma Theta and everything it stands for. I think one of the things that I've always admired about my sorority is like taking care of business. Okay, Deltas take care of the business,
Yeah,
right? And I think that's kind of always been my reputation with work. And I think while I've done so well in my career is because like regardless of what's going on in my life, how crazy it might get, like I'm gonna take care of the business. Okay, you ain't got to worry about the work product. It's gonna be excellent every single time. Now, I'm gonna be tired. I might be worn out, but the business gets taken care of because that's what we do. That's what Deltas do.
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. Yeah, I mean, I can attest to this because every last one that I've interacted with has, always been trying to do something
What we do.
greater, contribute their skills, their force, their power to something greater than them, and it's amazing,
Yeah.
to see so many like-minded individuals, like doing amazing things. So hey, look, root to the Saras, man.
Ooh, of course, of course.
Now I want the goal of this show is in fact philanthropy. And it's garnering support from the onlookers, from the audience, and putting it towards a charity or nonprofit that you care about. What charity or nonprofit would you like to spotlight today, and why is the cause it faces so important to you?
So there's a few different charities that I've worked with over the years, but there's one that I have that I like. It's different, and I really, really like it. So I am a part of a kickball team that is actually a nonprofit
Okay.
because, so first of all, I love it because first of all, what adult Black woman is on a kickball team, right? Like, there's a whole league where I live, and the team that I'm on is called the Lady Stallions. Love this team. The Lady Stallions. What I love is, yeah, we play kickball and we're serious about kickball. However, there's a lot of extra stuff that we do. For example, the Lady Stallions kickball team helped put on like a kids kickball clinic yesterday. This Saturday we're feeding we're giving a free brunch to senior citizens and like first responders. We did a clothing drive and we actually outfitted a whole like transitional home for women in January for MLK Day. We did it as part of our some of the things that we were doing. So I just love like how Lady Stallions kickball be giving back, and it's like it warms my heart that I can be a part of something like this.
Got you. So then we're gonna highlight the Lady Stallions. How can we donate time, effort, support? How can we do that?
Okay, so you can go. Well, first of all, follow Lady Stallions on Instagram at L Stallions. You can also, the information is there. Also, I mean, if you want to cash app us, I believe it's I gotta look it up, but I think it's Lady Stallions Kickball. If you just write Lady Stallions, you'll see it on there.
Gotcha.
You'll see it pop up. Cash app us, and then I'll also come to our games, support us. You see us play kickball in Atlanta, you in Atlanta, come through. We play on Sundays, so come through.
It's on Sunday. All right, what time on Sundays?
It depends. It changes from week to week, but
Okay.
usually, in the afternoons, I'll say.
Okay. I'll shoot you a DM the next time I'm in Atlanta, and about on a Sunday. I'm like, hey, look, are y'all playing today? Because I will make the time to go. Anytime I've ever talked to anyone and they said, hey, I got something coming up, I always make the time to go out and check it out because this is what I do. So definitely Sundays in Atlanta. Ladies out.
Yes.
Got it. Before we close, I only have two more things I want to touch on. And the first one is your podcast. Mommy Needs a Break.
Yes, Mommy Needs a Break. Clearly it's comes because I'm a mom, okay? And I got thrown into motherhood, I like to say, because my whole career, my whole life, I would say, and my whole adulthood has been focused on my career and me. Then I met a man, fell in love, we got engaged, we had a baby, really fast, like within 2 years, my whole life, I added like extra people to my life. So, just to go from being single and like focused on my career to now, like everything has changed. I just like jumped into motherhood head first with like no idea that it is as labor intensive as most moms know. So one of my good friends and I, we both would just like, my friend Marisa, we would just be on the phone because her daughter is like a year older than my son. So we would just be like, why is the poop this color? Or like, wait, which formula should I get? Oh my gosh, did you see what's in this formula? Are you doing all the vaccines? Or, just, we would talk about so many things and we're like, oh my gosh, we should just do a podcast because I'm sure other moms have these questions, right? And so, it was just important for us to start. It was our outlet. And honestly, we wanted a break. It was our way to tell our men, like, oh, keep the baby for a little bit. We got to do a podcast.
That's solid.
So it was legitimately our break to just get away and be ourselves for a moment and not have to worry about, kids, family, all that kind of stuff.
Most def. So before we close out, I want to, you once mentioned you said even now, right, that you need an outlet, and that came from the podcast. So I wonder what words of wisdom, because we always close with wisdom, it's tradition here. What words of wisdom would you have for any expecting mother?
I will say take some, leave some. And what I mean by that is everybody got an opinion, right? Your mama, your grandmama, your cousin, auntie, people who ain't got no kids, everybody gonna tell you something, right? So some of their information is great and you can learn from it and it will help your life and make your life easier. Other stuff doesn't resonate with you and it's not going to help you. So, have confidence in being a mom. I feel like the Lord blessed you with a child who was specifically made for you and vice versa. So your instincts are right and you are correct with your feelings about what you need to do for your child. So while some people's information may help that journey, some people's information does not. And it's up to you to decipher. So I always say, take some, leave some, Some people, they'll say stuff to me and I'll be like, I believe it. And they don't really know what I'm saying. I'm like, no, I believe it. And then I just walk away. I didn't, and then she'll be like, what? No, I believe that there. I'm not going to, that's not for me, and that's fine. That's my choice as a mother. I have to make sure I got to go to God at the end of this and make sure I did the best that I was supposed to do, regardless of what other people said and what they thought. So I just got to make sure, like, okay, make sure I lean on what I know to be true in my spirit and in my heart for my child.
No,
and every mother has that. Every mother has, what's right for your baby.
Yeah. Yep. You're right. Shoot, because I can attest to my son's mom. She's doing the thing. She's doing the thing, and I have nothing but honor and respect for her, sincerely. Because hey, I keep coming to see him. He's happy, happy.
Yeah.
I love it. So most definitely. Thank you so much for your time. Sincerely, I really appreciate this. It's an honor to have you here on a frank conversation, and I really hope to one day do another one of these with you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. And before I leave, I just want to say, for those of you watching, please help a sister out. I'm trying to build up my podcast. Please follow it at MNAB Podcast, and that's at Mommy Needs a Break Podcast. And support if you can. Also go to the YouTube channel, Mommy Needs a Break Podcast YouTube channel, and subscribe. If you see my videos, just hit the like. Watch it for like 30 seconds so I could get a view, please. Okay. Because I've been doing a lot of work. Y'all, please help me. Okay.
Hey, I heard people starting to put like a little countdown timer at the beginning of the podcast of their videos. That way, when you get to the 0, all right, boom, I already got the view. You do whatever you want after this point in time.
Right. Just give me those 30 seconds. Shout out to my co-host, Marisa. She's on here. Hey, Marisa. Support Mommy Needs a Break podcast, y'all. Help us out.
Most definitely. I know for a fact I'm gonna be listening because I feel like y'all are hilarious.
Thank you.
I no thing. But yeah, I definitely.
Oh, hold on. Rissy Leah said, "Is it on YouTube and Spotify?" Yes. Mommy Needs a Break podcast is on YouTube. We have a video podcast as well, so you can watch it if you prefer that. We're on Spotify, Apple, wherever else you get podcasts, we there. Okay, Mommy Needs a Break podcast.
Bet that. Go there. Go there.
You don't have to be a mom. Surprisingly, a lot of people are not moms. We have some dads as well who are like faithful listeners.
But I'm wondering, you actually kind of said it. Like, have you ever like gotten advice from like someone that don't have kids, and you just like were looking like, yo, like that's why you don't have kids?
Oh yeah,
that right there, like.
Oh yeah, and I used to be one of those people too. I'll be honest. I used to be like, no, I heard if you do this, because I just always be like giving too much advice, and people don't really, you know what I'm saying? Nobody asks me. I'm just one of those people that like to give advice because it just makes my spirit feel good because I feel like I helped, right?
Right.
So I would always be giving unsolicited advice to people who had kids. Sometimes it was right though, because I do be researching just to be researching. That's my nature. So sometimes it will be right, and sometimes it'll be like, you don't know. Okay. Sorry, my bad.
Oh my God. So what advice would you give me for what I'm trying to do?
Oh wait, for your platform?
Yeah.
Just keep going. Stay consistent because, I think that's really what gets people. They want, this is an instant gratification generation. So we think like, well, this person is over on this level and this person's on this level and I'm not there yet, but I'm putting in the work, I'm putting in the time, and it's just, I'm not where I want to be. Well, guess what? Everybody's timeline is different. So the thing that will make sure you're successful to reach your goal is if you just keep going. Like, that's it. The consistency beats out everything else every single time, especially when it comes to internet content. People always want Instagram famous or YouTube famous, but then when they realize, wait, I gotta put these videos up every week, I gotta edit them every week, I have to come up with content every week, like, then they start to go, you know what, I didn't want all that, because the truth is you didn't really want this YouTube channel. You just wanted to be famous, and the truth is you can get famous doing anything. Whatever your gift is, you can get famous doing that. You don't have to make a YouTube channel. But if you're going to do it, you'll be successful if you're just consistent and you don't stop.
Most definitely. Most definitely. I appreciate that. I'm staying on it. You have a blessed, amazing evening, though.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank y'all for watching. Bye.
Man, can y'all imagine? I actually just sat down and talked to Megan. Yo, like, my life is crazy. I want to give a big shout out to everybody that tuned in. Thank y'all so much. We're definitely going to try to donate to @L_Stallions. Definitely check out Mommy Needs a Break podcast. Show some love. It's on Spotify. It's on YouTube. It's up and it is stuck. I cannot believe I just had that interview. That is amazing. You like what I'm doing? $Ezel Moon. 60% goes to a charity. 40% goes to making these a whole lot better, and me actually hosting these in person, going around the world and interviewing people at Black-owned businesses and spotlighting charities. And I want to do that because I want to do it for the rest of my life. Okay, all right, I'm done with my hand signals. I don't know what to do with my hands. If you got that reference, you're cool. We can be friends. I hope y'all have a blessed, amazing evening. Love you guys. Purchase my book, Purple Mike Wants a Bike, at Amazon.com. You can find it there. Just type in Purple Mike, type in Ezel Moon, and it'll pop up. If you guys want to follow me, no, not even if, go follow me at Ezel Moon _ on Twitter and Instagram. I'm Ezel Moon, and I'm not doing it unless it's fun and it helps people.